Once upon a time, there lived a great king called Ogiso. Ogiso was so powerful that many kingdoms were at his mercy. But he had one problem. He was cursed, and a cry of a baby will never be heard in his palace. Ogiso tried to break the curse, and so he married 7 wives, but no one was able to give him a child. This troubled Ogiso so much, and one day he decided to offer sacrifices to the gods. He brought his fattest harvest and sacrificed 100 goats and other animals to the gods. The gods heard his prayers and decided to bless him with one child. However, only the one with the purest of hearts will bear the child. Weeks later, all the wives conceived, and Ogiso was so happy. They all prepared for the journey to their parents' houses, each as instructed by the gods. For no child should be born in the palace. All the wives went to their parents' houses, except Uhun, Ogiso's last wife, who was an orphan. Uhun wandered in the forest looking for food and shelter, and one day she saw an old woman. The woman asked her what she was doing in the forest, and Uhun told her everything. The old woman took Uhun to her house and gave her food and shelter. She told Uhun to stay with her till she gives birth. She took care of Uhun till her last breath. When the old woman died, Uhun was left alone in the forest. Months later, when it was about time for the wives to give birth, Anohe, Ogiso's first wife, sent an assassin to spy on all the wives and instructed him to kill whosoever that has a son with the son too. On the day of the delivery, Anohe gave birth to a goat. The second wife gave birth to a chicken. The third wife gave birth to a cat. The fourth wife gave birth to a lizard. The fifth wife gave birth to a tortoise. The sixth wife gave birth to a rabbit. And Uhun, the last wife, gave birth to a son, but passed out shortly. When the assassin saw that Uhun had passed out, he took the baby away from her and threw him into a river. Hours later, when Uhun had regained her strength, she couldn't find her baby. She looked everywhere for him, but he was nowhere to be found. She cried and cried and cried and returned to the palace empty-handed. When all the wives had returned to the palace, they were asked to present their children, but they all provided their animal babies, and the king was disappointed. And he asked Uhun to present hers, but she had nothing at all to present. the king sent her to the outskirts of the palace. She tried explaining to them that she had a child, but no one believed her, who lived in the palace as an outcast from them. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and months turned into years, and Ogiso was still without child. But unknown to them, the child wasn't dead. He was saved by the river goddess, and so was turned into half mermaid and half human. Every day, he would swim to the side of the river and begin to sing. He would sing this every morning and return back into the river. One day, when he was singing again, Ohokpora Udin, the palm wine tapper, heard him and decided to move closer, and he heard everything the boy was saying. Every day, the young boy kept singing the song to get the palm wine tapper's attention, and the palm wine tapper kept listening to his songs. The palm wine tapper knew King Ogiso and everyone in the song, and so one day he decided to approach the young boy after he had finished singing. He asked the boy who he was and how he knew the king, and the boy told him everything, and also told him that the river goddess cannot let him go because he was half mermaid. So Ohokpora Udin pleaded with the river goddess, and they told him that the only way was for some sacrifices to be made. He brought the sacrifices, and the boy was set free. The young prince thanked the river goddess for everything she did for him and left with Ohokpora Udin. Ohokpora Udin took the boy to King Ogiso and told him everything. Ogiso was surprised and happy at the same time, and he told the chiefs to organize a feast for 7 days. When the wise heard of this, they started laying claims to the boy. Each of them said they were his mother. The boy was unable to recognize his mother, and so the chief priest ordered them each to prepare a meal for him, and that whosoever's food he eats was his mother. Anohe and her co-wives went to the market and bought bush meat, fishes, and other food items, and started preparing the food. Moon was the last to hear of the news, as she was now an outcast in the palace. She had no money to go to the market, and so she picked the leftover food items from the market square and made watery okra soup and pounded yam. When it was time, the food was presented to the prince, one after the other, but he spat it out and exclaimed, "Onayineme," which means, "This is not my mother." They all presented their foods, and he said the same thing till it was Uhun's turn. Uhun presented the food with tears rolling down her chin. The young prince took a bite, took the food, sat on the floor, and ate everything. When he was done, he exclaimed, "Onaineme," which means, "This is my mother." Everyone was shocked except Anohen, for she knew what she had done. The king rushed to Uhun and embraced her and asked for her forgiveness. Anohen was banished into the evil forest and never to be seen again, and she died days later. Uhun's son was crowned prince, and Uhun became the queen mother. Everybody in the village respected and loved her, as she was indeed the one with the purest of hearts. This is the end of the story. Thank you for listening to this story. Please like and click on the subscribe button for more interesting stories. I'll see you in our next story time.